Do you guys remember when we were told that we had to stand on red dots and they had to be 6 feet apart, and they were 6 feet apart this way, but then this way, it didn't really matter how far apart they were, and we were told that we needed to protect other people, and we were told that standing 6 feet apart decreases the chance of anything spreading. And then just last week, there was this trial or whatever it was with Fauci, and he said, I don't really know where that came from. It just kind of happened. And it's really been bothering me because I think that as North Americans and as people around the world, because that wasn't just in North America, that was globally. I remember being in an H&M in Montevideo when all of this was happening, and we didn't really have red dots, but H&M is an international company, and we did, and we were told to stand 6 feet apart on these dots, and it was my first time to experience this, and there was about 1,000 people in the store. I mean, it was packed. It was so crowded. I can't even describe how crowded it was. I've never seen it that crowded before. And there was security in the line where you check out, and we're standing by it, making sure that everyone was 6 feet apart. And I remember looking at that dot and I was like, there is no way I'm gonna stand on this dot. People are touching my shoulders. I'm not standing on this dot. I refuse to comply with this. So the security guard kept coming over. I had my kids with me. The security guard kept saying, you need to stand on this dot. And I was like, no, absolutely, I will not stand on it. I tried to peel it off the ground. I stomped on it. I mean, I was livid because it was an insult to my intelligence. The entire thing was an insult to my intelligence. To look at the restaurants in the shopping mall in the center of the aisle where people were sitting and eating without masks on, and then to know that all the people walking by them were required to wear a mask, it was insulting to imagine that at this level you're okay, but at this level there's something deadly that's spreading around. If that were the case, we wouldn't have taken our kids there. We wouldn't have gone anywhere without an absolute hazmat suit on. I mean, we had to know that something wasn't right, but yet so many people complied and so many people got into fights over this and into arguments over this. And a week and a half ago, 4 years later, he has the nerve to say, I don't really know where that came from. It just kind of happened. Are you kidding me? I mean, we knew it. Most of us knew it, that it had no scientific basis or validity at all. But the fact of the matter is that people were forced to follow these standards that just came out of nowhere. And I believe that it was something sinister. I really believe it was psychological warfare. But I think at this point, as we're watching this unfold over the next 4 years, over the next 5 years, more and more stuff is going to come out, and it will continue to come out, as we know, because it's already happened so many times, to tell us, we're just messing with you. We were just joking. It just happened. I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry that, you had extreme levels of anxiety, extreme levels of fear, extreme levels of all of these negative emotions based on the fact that we just kind of made it up. And so I think it's important because this isn't the first time that it's happened, and it's certainly not going to be the last time. More things will happen that will be made up, and we need to be aware of that. If something insults our intelligence, if something doesn't make sense, if something is not logical, we need to step back and think, and not get on a bandwagon and say, this is exactly what we're going to do, and we're going to follow this, and we're going to, stay inside, and we're going to do all these things that don't really make sense. And then they're going to keep moving the goalposts. When that happens, you know that you're being manipulated. You know that there's psychological warfare going on. And you need to stop, and you need to step back, and you need to use your brain, and you need to think about, what is the end goal of this? What is really going on? What is the purpose of this? Because we're never told the truth. We're always sold a lie. And it is going to continue. And I think watching all of these things unfold online and in courtrooms, and we see what people are saying. We see that they're backtracking on their words, and we need to remember that as we move forward. I think it's so important to remember as we move forward, not to buy into the lies, not to allow ourselves to be divided, not to allow someone to make us fearful of another person if they make a different choice, not to make us hate someone if they make a different choice. We all want to be on the right side of this. And as humanity, we need to get it right next time, because we're still in the process of someone trying to divide us. And so I wanted to share that because I think it's important moving forward, and not just to say, oh, well, we're not wearing masks anymore, or whatever. No, it's not whatever, because we're still being manipulated in some ways, and we're being told, we manipulated you, and it just kind of happened. Sorry about that, guys. So let's use our brains going forward. Let's think. Let's just actively consider situations instead of just listening to what we're told, because they tell us over and over and over and over. That's the way that our brain starts to be manipulated. Turn it all off, sit down and think. What is truth? What is reality? And what is my part in this? And which side of history am I going to land on? Because we can't get it wrong another time.